Is your real estate business floundering? Might be time to make a pivot, and I'm going to give you the 4 ways to know that it's definitely time. What's up, guys? Let's dive right in. With the market the way it is in the real estate industry, there are lots of reasons why people should be pivoting their business. I can tell you from experience talking with agents across the country right now, a lot of folks aren't doing it yet, and I think it's because they simply don't realize maybe they should be. So here are the 4 ways you know it may be time. Number 1, you may be experiencing a lack of progress, or maybe your business has plateaued. You were climbing, and suddenly it's not really climbing anymore. You've plateaued. Hopefully you're not falling backwards. But if you see that your business has plateaued, or you're not making progress as quickly as you feel like you should be, you may be in need of a pivot. That's just what it is. I think this is really important to recognize and just be honest with yourself, right? The market is going through changes and disruptions that, frankly, the real estate market hasn't seen in a long, long time, maybe ever. And so the notion that you might need to pivot, or that maybe your real estate business has plateaued, this isn't crazy, right? It doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you failed. It doesn't mean any of those things. It means that there were external forces that changed and you have to respond. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. And you're not continuing to build like you want to be. That would be sign number 1. It's time to pivot. Number 2, I've seen this one in my own business from time to time. What used to work for you doesn't work anymore. That's a classic example that it's time to make a change. It's time to pivot. So the example that I have early on in my career, I recognized that I was giving a value proposition out there that, hey, we did professional photos. Now, this is many years ago, right? Professional photos have kind of become the norm now, but there was a time, if you can believe it or not, when that wasn't the norm. And in our industry, in our area, I was able to go into listing appointments and I would say, we have a professional photographer that would take pretty pictures, right? And this was a wow factor for a long time. That won the appointment, that won the listing simply because we took professional photos when the competition wasn't. But there came a time where I recognized that I wasn't winning anymore as often as I was, and it was suddenly more competitive. And I would even have clients or prospective clients tell me that what I was doing didn't look notably different than the other people they interviewed. And so that was time to pivot. You need to pivot. So if you're going on appointments and the clients that you're seeking to interview or seeking to win over, they can't distinguish your value proposition from your competitors, that's a great opportunity to make that pivot. Number 3, this one's a little bit similar to the second one, but it is different. Specifically when you're trying something new in your business, you're bringing something new, a new product, a new service, a new offering to the market, and you find out that consumers aren't responding like you thought they would. That is a classic instance where it's time to pivot. And there's nothing wrong with that. Look, marketing at the end of the day, whether you're marketing yourself, marketing a product, marketing a service, it doesn't matter. Marketing is a game of kind of throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks. You have to see what will consumers, what will the market respond positively to. And you don't know until you try it. But it's crazy to me that sometimes folks, they get so locked in on what they think should work that they completely lose sight of what the market actually thinks. I'm gonna try to see what works. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But if it doesn't, then just be honest with yourself and make that pivot, right? Take the pivot, time to change what we're doing, maybe change your delivery, change your pitch, change the service altogether if it's not something that's resonating with the consumer. Number 4, it's time to pivot if you see that your perspective on the industry has changed. Now, I'll give you another personal example here. I had an opportunity a few years ago to partner with one of the big names in the industry that was going to serve up sales leads to us on a silver platter. And we did have to pay a referral fee for that. But it was basically an endless supply of leads that we could give to our agents and ultimately close business. Sounds like a great idea, and I thought it was until we started implementing it. And I recognized what they were doing was they were trying to make it such that there was so much effort we had to put toward their leads and their clients, our mutual clients then, there really wasn't a whole lot of opportunity for us to grow our own streams of business. And that's really smart if you're in their position, because you want us, their consumer, their client, to become reliant on them, right? Because then they effectively own your business, right? You're not in charge anymore, they are. And so when I recognized that, my perspective of the industry shifted. What I thought was initially an opportunity was now something that I look back on and I say, thank God we stopped that when we did. We would become so reliant on that lead source, on that source for business, that we would lose any autonomy of our own. And I recognize that, yes, that one maybe it was an easy path, but what's right isn't always easy. What's easy isn't always right. And we had to make a pivot after we gained a new perspective on the industry. So this happens for everybody's business, but the important thing, guys, through these 4 different examples of how you know it's time, is to, again, just be honest with yourself that pivots have to happen in business. Nothing stays forever. Times change, business changes, industries change, what the consumers want and need changes. And you're either going to change along with it, or you're going to go the way of the dinosaur. So if it's time to make a pivot, be honest with yourself and do it.